Welcome to Dirty Laundry City with Isabella and Silvana.
An unironically relatable female millennial podcast where we talk about health, relationships, and being in our 30s.
Airing out your laundry has never been so dirty.
Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Dirty Laundry City for more. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to Dirty Laundry City. I'm Silvana.
I'm Isabella. Let's get into it. All right, so as always, we're going to start off with our lights, darks, and delicates. For the year, we're doing a recap of our last year.
Full 2024.
So talk about some of my lights. Two of my friends actually had babies this year. My very, very best friend had her daughter at the end of September, and I'm completely obsessed with her. It's the closest thing I'm going to have to having a baby. So that was a great addition to our girl group, our family.
How's the babe? How's the mom?
She's doing well. She's surviving, and I don't think she's ready to go back to work. That's for sure.
Well, yeah. I feel like we're at the age now. I feel like this year for me was all weddings.
Yes.
Your friends are starting to have babies. And now all of our collective friends are pregnant.
Yes, exactly.
So we're entering the new era.
The new era of life. Not for us, though.
No.
Okay, then for my darks would definitely be the election results. Yeah. That was a dark day, dark weeks afterwards. Really felt even more disappointed than I did in 2016. And although I think there's only one way out, and it's up. And to come, have to get through this next 4 years is going to be a lot of coming together and community building. So that was my dark. Mm-hmm. And then my delicates would be, I think I did a really good job this past year of being more intentional about and more mindful about my habits in terms of shopping, which is really hard to do, but I do think I've improved, and I want to improve even more for next year. And
you're very good at not buying so much and then be like, oh my God, I'm a hoarder. You are very, like you said, intentional.
I'm
you'll get it secondhand if you can, or you're just taking inventory. You're like, I don't need this.
Right.
Do I really want it if I don't need it?
Yeah. I think there's been even a trend that we're seeing on TikTok of intentional buying and bringing certain items into your house and what you the energy that it even has. There's just obviously so much overconsumption in the world, and especially in America. And I really I've been taking that more into consideration with not just clothes, but just anything. We just all have too much.
A mindful queen.
Yes.
That's good.
Of course.
That's so good. Okay. A good wrap.
Yes.
Isabella wrapped. 2024.
Wrapped, period.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So lights for me was my dog. I've talked about it. I'm very happy that I did it. My son.
My family is complete.
My family is complete. And it does feel like that. I feel like we have a little family.
Yeah, you do.
He's good. I mean, he's crazy. He was just in here being the devil incarnate. But it's really nice. It's just a really, it's a feeling that you won't have unless you have one. I'm sure it's like a kid in a sense. But yeah, it's a lot of work, but I think the reward outweighs the you know, the work that has to be put into it. So that's really cool. And I like cry every day thinking that he's going to die one day. Like he's literally 10 months. And I'm like, sometimes I'll be on my phone crying and Danny's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, Crouton's going to die. And he's like, Silvana, the dog isn't even one. Like
she's just planning. She's just planning her emotions. Weird thought.
Like we both look at each other the other day and we were like, we don't even remember what it was like before, like not having him.
It's
super weird. Yeah, it's super weird. Okay, unlock that. My dark is also probably the election too. I think it was just a hard time. And the one thing I'll say, like, I wouldn't even say I'm as involved or as even aware in the political like landscape and environment as you are, or I'm just not as involved. But the older I get, the more I am recognizing and realizing. And I always wondered this when I was young with my parents, like why they were always so they had so many feelings and were always so involved in what's going on politically. And I think when I was young, I was just kind of like, I didn't understand how important it was. And now that we're getting older, I'm understanding the importance of like how it affects us, even maybe not always every day, but can be in everyday life. And I'm afraid it might be honestly soon. So I think for me, it was like I was trying to understand a little bit more why people were voting certain ways. And I think ultimately we're unhappy with the result. But I think there's elements of like things like policies that I can understand certain aspects of it. But overall, I think, and you can say the same thing, we were so upset because it just felt like for women, it truly was a step back.
Yeah.
And it's just like the character of the person who's leading our country.
Right.
And it was really sad that it felt like people were choosing someone for reasons that were seemingly more important than just basic like rights of humans, especially for women. And that's what's so sad. And I think that's what ultimately why women were so sad is because we just felt like we weren't chosen.
Right.
So I think that was like the hardest part of it. And then my delicate was that, what was it? What was my delicate? I think it was, my partner and I are having basically, and you know this, obviously you're going, it's a 10-year anniversary party on New Year's Eve. I don't know if I've talked about this.
I don't think so.
We are very non-traditional in the sense of like, we don't want a wedding. So I just didn't grow up wanting it. I mean, we've talked about getting married and weddings and things like that, but I did want an opportunity for us to celebrate our love and really for everyone to just get together, friends, family, etc. So my boyfriend and I are basically planned a New Year's Eve party, and that's happening this year. So excited. I'm like pumped, but it was a lot of work, and I think we had been talking about it for so long, and it was something that we really spent a lot of energy and time over this year, and we had a lot of challenges that came with it. And we said this, like, I don't know how people plan a wedding.
Yeah.
Like we are on we're 70 people, such a smaller scale, like not putting that much money into it at all. It's just purely like a party with a little bit of food and a DJ, and that's it. But like, I think the hardest part for me throughout the experience was it felt like society and a lot of people make you believe that if you are not doing what is traditionally expected of you, it is not as important, or it's not going to be as prioritized by people. And that's fine at the end of the day if that's how you feel, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't make me
less than.
Exactly. And it does make me a little sad and frustrated that, you know, like there's an expectation within any relationship and friendship that if there's something that's important to you, I'm going to be a part of it and be there for you. And I do expect that back.
Yeah.
And I think that that's not a ridiculous expectation.
Right.
And it doesn't make me dislike you if you don't feel that way. But it's just something that I feel like, you know, is a little bit tough when you're the way that we are and we just don't value the same traditional beliefs as others.
Right.
So
it's like your party isn't on the same scale as like a wedding, and it can just it's equally as meaningful. So that's a little disheartening to
I think that's all it is. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, the people who, I love and love me are going to be there, and I'm so excited. But I think the journey and the process was something that I had to kind of work through, like emotionally, and even just doing all the planning and stuff was hard. So I give a lot of props, and I'm very impressed by people who put on weddings.
Yeah.
So,
and also like the money that they spend.
Yeah, which we did not. We did it on a smaller scale. We did it all ourselves and all that. So. Yeah.
And it's gonna be amazing.
We're gonna do a full recap of it.
Yeah, we'll go live actually. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram,
Dirty Laundry City at the New Year's.
You'll see us there live, bringing in the new year. Okay, so since this is our last episode of the year, we wanted to talk about the upcoming year and some of our resolutions. I think resolutions are always hard to identify and name, and then also the follow through, which is even harder. Mm-hmm. So I think that some of mine would be, I kind of talked about this earlier, just traveling in general, and actually taking the conversation out of the group chat, which is, like really hard in order, you have to spend money and plan things, but I think it's obviously worth it in the end. So a couple of international trips that I want to plan or be a part of this year, hopefully London, maybe Greece, maybe Italy, who knows?
Get back to your roots.
Get back to my roots.
Are you like the trip planner? I forget.
I don't know. I've never really planned like a big
You
trip.
planned your birthday to California.
Kate helped a lot out.
Okay.
My friend Kate.
So you're not a big planner.
Shout out to Kate for that. I plan like things locally.
Yeah, you're a
far
good local
out.
planner.
Like, but I've never really planned anything past without the help of other people.
See, I'm like, if I'm gonna do a big trip like that, I am the planner. I book all the hotels, or else I think it gives me anxiety a little bit.
I need to.
It.
Okay, yeah. I want it done, but I don't necessarily have to be the one who makes the decision.
You just want it done early.
Yes,
you want it to be set in stone, but you don't have to be the one that's
Correct.
doing it. Okay, yeah. See, I have to do it. There's so many different people, and I think it can be really frustrating when you're like, okay, I'm the one that likes to do it. You do it. But then sometimes if no one else is contributing, it's like, well, why am I the only one that's doing it? And it's like, well, you kind of were the one that raised your hand.
I think I don't want to be the one to do it because I don't want the criticism that comes with it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You want everyone to have a good time. So if you plan it and they don't,
then I'm like, it's my fault.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
But then on the opposite side, you could just be like,
well, you didn't do shit.
Yeah,
so yeah, exactly.
Do what I do. I know it's like a balance. You have to make sure you get everyone's effort and perspective, but then also
it depends who you're traveling with too.
That's
which
true.
we've talked about is
it's everything.
We can't travel with certain people.
No,
it just
and you
doesn't
can't live with certain people either.
No, I'm never living with anyone again.
Yeah. Ever in your
ever. Sorry. So that is one of the things, and then obviously for both of us, we talked a lot about our fitness and health goals.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Just never ending.
Never
it's
ending.
A never ending vicious cycle of.
What are some of your resolutions for next year?
Resolution for me is what a surprise. It's about books. No, I actually had a goal. I'm a Goodreads girly.
Love the Goodreads.
Love a Goodreads. It's a horrible app, though.
It is. The interface is terrible.
Bad interface. I know so much about interfaces.
We're such tech girlies.
But it's ugly. It's bad. It's not user friendly. It glitches all the time.
Yeah.
There's no fun element to it. You can just leave a comment. So I actually downloaded one a long time ago. I don't know about if the book girlies know. It's called Fable. Have you ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
So actually, one of my friends from college is friend or something works. I don't know. But he texted me and he's like, oh, I know you read a lot of books. You should download Fable. I had already downloaded it, but I didn't know anyone on it. So it deterred me.
Irrelevant. Yeah.
Right. I had some people that I kind of just connected with. that I, would follow, but all my friends are on Goodreads. So I
Right.
ultimately went back to Goodreads, but it is good to track. So
Yeah.
and when people start reading books, you can see what they read. So I can kind of add that to my list. But anyways, so my goal was 50 this year. I got so close.
There's still time.
I know, but it's 5 more books. I'm at 45. I could do it.
Do an audiobook. Just crank one out.
Yeah.
Some of them are only like 6 hours.
Yeah, I'm not an audiobook girl, but maybe I can just when I'm like cleaning up the house.
Yeah.
Or, like,
If you
Go
don't
to
have
the
any, if
gym.
you're just like emailing and like I'll
yeah.
listen to an audiobook.
And I go to the gym, like,
Yeah.
a lot, so I could listen to it. Okay.
Commute.
Maybe I'll try that. I'll try to squeeze in 5 more books. But
You could do at least 1 or 2.
yeah, a lot of my books are like 600 pages.
That's true.
So
You need-
I don't read little small books.
Yeah. But if you want to hit the goal, you could
Yeah.
read something quicker.
I know. Well, next year, if I don't hit 50 this year, I want to hit 50 next year. That's my resolution. If I hit 50 this year, then I want to maybe up it by like 5. But I just love it, and it's really like it's gotten to the point where like I'm like, yes, like I added another one.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But I genuinely enjoy it. I actually saw this woman the other day. We took her out for work. She had read over 80 books this year.
Jesus.
That's a lot.
I guess if I watch less TV, I could do it, but that's like not
willing
going to
to do
happen. Sorry, Housewives takes precedent.
I've never seen Housewives ever.
I've converted people. I could convert you. I
Everyone
bet.
tries, and I just haven't started it at all. Like I haven't even attempted.
Yeah, I think I can definitely convert you.
Okay.
That's my resolution.
Everyone says watch New Jersey. That's like the OG from the beginning.
Yeah, from the beginning.
Beverly Hills.
Yep, love it.
And everyone's saying Salt Lake City is really
Salt Lake
good.
City is the best
Okay.
franchise
All right, so-
from start to now. It's on right now.
Okay.
I also love like completing like your list of books. I don't read nearly as much as you do, but
Yeah.
it is a goal to keep in mind, and I should watch less TV, but
Is one of your goals next year keeping
keeping the
bond?
short. I don't know if you guys
both went
noticed.
short. We both went short. I feel like that's kind of been the trend a little bit.
Yes.
Like everyone's just cut off.
Cut your hair off.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone says like women who make a drastic change in their hair, like going through something. But
Yeah.
I think for us, we were just like, hell yeah, let's do
we
it.
were always going through something.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
a full mental
There
breakdown
wasn't
this
like
time.
some precipice that happened.
I know. I think both of us were just like, I was like, I think I'm just going to chop it off randomly. And then you
Yeah.
were like, oh, I was going to chop off my hair too. And then
Yeah.
we just kind of did it around the same time.
It's been a while since I've been this short. Like
Yeah.
this short.
I
like
think I
years.
might even go short. Like, I feel like yours is cute at the shoulder. Mine, like, I think I need to do a little
bit.
shorter. But it's funny you said that though, because like my hairstylist was like, when I went in the chair and was like, chop it all off, he was like, are you sure? Are you okay? And I was like, this is the first time in my whole life where I've changed my hair drastically and didn't have a mental, like wasn't
didn't
going
regret.
through some shit.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it was like, I just truly was bored
Yeah.
and
Did it.
did it. Yeah.
I just needed a change, honestly. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, what's like more like easy for me to achieve, like in
Yeah.
a change.
Like the second option was like a full back tattoo for you.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hair.
A sleeve, actually. So stay tuned. There's still time.
She comes in January with like a full flower
Yeah.
sleeve.
It's fine. Okay. So talking about recapping the year,
Yeah.
we want to kind of call out some of our favorite pop culture moments from the year. So one of mine, if you don't watch Only Murders in the Building on Hulu, you're really missing out on some great storylines, great cast,
Some older characters.
some older characters we love. One of the things that happened this past year was this big rumor that Meryl Streep and Martin Short are dating. Okay? Like, this is big. They are dating and they're married in the show. And now in real life,
Are they actually dating in real life?
I mean, I don't know. They're both. So, for a little context on both of them,
Give it to us.
Martin Short was married for 30, a little over, I think 30 years. And his wife had cancer and passed away. And he said he would never, fall in love again. That was his one true love. Meryl Streep recently has been separated from her husband of like 40 years, which was kind of like a big secret because they had been together for so long.
Is it because of Martin?
No. But people are saying like, they're seen together. They're very friendly. So I'm sure it's not like a full-blown like love affair, but maybe just for like companionship or friendship, which I'm of course all about.
It's so funny because I feel like, yes, that's very sweet and nice, but you're like monumental.
This is monumental for me. Yeah, everyone's like, oh, Sabrina Carpenter and Barry broke up, but I'm like, this is like Selena Gomez got engaged, Travis and Taylor. Like, no, this
it's Martin Short
and Meryl Streep. Like, if you don't know by now, I'm obsessed with Meryl Streep.
They have the same initials.
There you go.
They're meant to be.
They're meant to be.
So, pop culture moment of the year. Yeah, I do have to say Sabrina.
Yeah.
She like popped off and popped out.
So
she's been around though.
She has.
Which I didn't really realize.
So I think the really big platform that launched her was opening up for Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour.
Okay, so I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When she got so big, I'm like, this is confusing because I knew she was a Disney Channel star, but
right.
Her generation of Disney was not our generation. Correct. So like she was never relevant to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think I really knew her music. But when she came out and started everything, I was like, oh, and then everyone's like, oh, she opened for Taylor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, duh, she's going to get big from that.
Right. And the Eras Tour has been going on for like, it just ended, but almost 2 years, which is crazy.
It did not end.
But that was really the thing that everyone was like paying attention to, like, the openers and
which I get. I mean, that is the one, I think, phenomenon that, and I'm sorry, I'm truly never gonna understand, like, is being a Swiftie. And it's not for the lack of like understanding her talent, right? Like, she's incredible, an amazing songwriter, an amazing performer. I mean, outside of her, I think really the only performer that I think is incredible is like Beyonce. I think her as a performer is amazing.
Yeah.
But
I saw an interesting TikTok. Like, I know a lot of people compare Beyonce and Taylor Swift, but I will say that Beyonce is a way better performer in the sense that she's definitely more multifaceted and the fact she can dance. Yeah, Taylor cannot dance.
No. She sure can.
So
like, I would probably look the same on a stage too. But like,
I mean, yeah, but like, I don't think they're really. I mean, sometimes they're like, I don't know if they're actually comparable because they're just kind of on different levels.
Yeah, I think it's like the extent of her performing though, and like the coverage,
the
of
longevity,
years, and the longevity of like so many hits, and then also too the fact that I mean, I didn't go to her tour. I would not pay the money to go to that, but I mean, there are songs that I love, but the length at which she's playing too. Like, I've heard she's on for like 4 hours. Right. The tour's been going on for over 2 years. Like, how is she on drugs? Like, how does she do this?
I don't know.
That's crazy. Yeah. Like, to me. But anyway, Sabrina, I do think has like really risen. I love that she tends to pop. I just love the pop that she comes out. I love like the voice. I love the just the whole, like, all the melody, everything about it is so fun. I went to the concert, it was good. But I think what I love about her is that she has found a way, like a niche of making something like sexy and kind of talking about like kind of like dirty things, but for women. Like, it's not for like male attraction. It's for like women, and women don't find her like sexiness and her outfits like to be like vulgar. It's just like fun.
I think she's really smart, and she like knows how to kind of like word her songs in like a way that's, like you said, like fun and a little bit like niche and like sexy, but not in an overtly way that it's like you're being like a little too like cutesy, you know what I mean? I think she's really has a natural talent in like being able to kind of poke fun at herself and poke fun at other things. And
she's done it in a way I feel like Ariana Grande could never do. Like, Ariana Grande was too over sexualized.
Yeah.
And I feel like Sabrina never
Yeah, that's true.
got there. So even though honestly Ariana Grande's voice is
I think
unreal.
Yeah, and I think she's also really funny, and I feel like we're gonna
Did you see her Christmas special?
No.
Sabrina's?
No, I haven't watched it
It's
yet.
like, you should watch it. We can recap in the next one. She's like, it's not that funny. Like,
really?
her singing was good. She brought on some decent guests. Like, she had Chaperone on there. She had Shania Twain, all of that. But she did like SNL skits, and they were not that good.
They weren't landing. Yeah,
they didn't land. Anyway,
she really didn't have the best writers too. Yeah. Okay, speaking of Ariana, our queen, Wicked this year is obviously taken over. I've seen the musical. We saw the musical actually together. We saw Wicked. We're holding space for this.
you'll be Ariana. I'll be Cynthia.
Yeah, you have the nails. And I'm Italian. Well, we're both Italian. Well, she's from Florida, though, Ariana. She's from Boca.
Okay, well, I'm not
there
from
you go.
Florida. Boca. You loved it.
I loved it. Loved it.
You
thought it was great.
I've seen Wicked, though.
Yeah,
And it's great. Yeah. You saw Wicked. It's great. What would you rate the movie out of? Like, you saw the play, right?
Yeah.
You thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
What would you rate the movie?
I mean, 10 out of 10.
You think so?
It's really hard to adapt a musical into a movie.
Yeah.
There's been some hits, there's been some misses. But I think this was done really well. I think they've been working on it for a few years. They had great set designs. They planted I can't remember how many tulips or poppies or whatever.
Yeah.
You can tell by the way that both Ariana and Cynthia talk about their preparation for the role is really dedicated and thought out. So I was just very impressed. I thought it was a good adaptation. And 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Talented. I mean, I'm not a musical girl. I hated Hamilton. What was the one that came out recently that everyone was obsessed with? I don't know. I don't like singing in movies, but I admit it was very good. Yeah. I did enjoy it. I think it could have been 20 minutes shorter.
That's the first part.
I know. There's a whole second part. I mean, I get it. I understand it. But I still think the movie itself could have been a little shorter. And I can't do the dancing. A little dancing.
Okay, you're cringy, yeah.
But I get it that it's it's theater.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
I'm definitely a musical theater kid at heart.
No, I was not at all. But okay. My next one is Zayn went on tour. Oh, Liam Payne died. That was actually a big one.
Yeah.
That was sad. I actually was really sad. I wanted a One Direction reunion. I was a big One Directioner only because I was obsessed with Zayn. I thought he was the most attractive man in the entire world for a very long period of my life. He has a lot of I think some mental stuff, but he did go on tour. He overcame his anxiety demons. He went on tour. I wish I could go, but one, I'm not 21 years old, and two, I couldn't spend $500 to go to that concert. But I'm very happy that he was able to get on stage and really sing his little heart out. You go,
Zayn.
Yeah.
I could not name the members of One Direction.
Really?
Besides Harry and Zayn.
And Liam.
And the kid who died.
The kid who died. That's so sad. It's
sad.
Actually very sad.
Sad.
Yeah. Young. Who's too young.
But I've never got into them. So
you know Niall Horan. He came out with a song, his own song. Really?
I mean, I'm sure.
Little? Not a One Directioner.
No, not a huge boy band.
Maybe young for us, but I just got into it because
college.
I actually thought they had decent songs, fun little pop songs.
Love it.
Okay, last one. The last pop culture moment of the year for you.
Oh, Cowboy Carter. I really love that album.
Yeah.
I thought the duet with Miley was iconic. I
agree. I agree on that one.
Would love a music video for that as well. I think it was a huge snub. She wasn't nominated for any of the country music awards.
What? Why?
It's a
do you
whole
think?
other episode. One, because she
It was like
is
a
a
hip hop
is
version
like
of it?
yeah, like traditionally like a
Like not white.
one not white, two a woman, and three because they think it wasn't as like country or whatever or western or whatever. She's from Texas,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
That's
It's
pretty
like her roots.
Yeah.
That's what she talks about in so many, even songs before this. I mean,
Yeah,
it wasn't just this
Houston.
album.
Come on.
Yeah. She's playing the Super Bowl though. I was a little surprised by that.
She is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I think it's centered on Cowboy Carter.
I would love that.
Yeah. But
I love
yeah,
like
I don't know. We'll see.
specific country and western music, so it was a good mix for me to have Beyonce.
Yeah. Okay. I think last one and the last thing that we're going to talk about before our ending remarks.
Oh God. Okay, here we go.
It
We just added 40 minutes to this by talking about this.
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
I think it's worth talking about
Yeah.
for the book girls. No, I think just the rise and of popularity, and maybe it's not that it's more popular, it's just more talked about now, is like the whole romantasy genre, and then like the boom of like Fourth Wing and like Sarah J. Maas and all that. That was just so fun for me, and it was it really got me into the like that kind of reading. And yeah, it was just, I mean, those authors have like millions of followers on social now. Like they are all writing new things. I mean, like the industry as a whole is just boomed like, with the amount of just spend that goes into that, whether it's like an audiobook or a physical or Kindle or whatever. So
do you think it's going to be like
cool.
the new Game of Thrones?
For women, yes.
Just, I mean, like in general, like the fantasy, like like mini series, and then like
yes,
spin-offs, and like
I think it has the I think it has the potential. It's just they really have to be so careful of the way that they present it first. You know, like they cannot mess it up. They need to go in with like Game of Thrones budgets and put it on a platform like a Max where they can show all of the things, like be realistic about the story, because it's not for kids. I mean, there's stuff in there that's like not, you know, it's very mature. So I think if they do it right, it can really, really grow. And I think the audience maybe even can grow from like mostly women and skew a little more to men, because it does have a lot of Game of Thrones, fantasy elements, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Like it has a lot of that. So that's just exciting to see where that goes. And I'm, you know, pumped that it kind of started and it's like really gaining a lot of traction.
Well, if it is streaming, comes to Max, or it's a movie, maybe I'm watching it. But
you're gonna have to. That's part of Dirty Laundry City. We're actually gonna have a watch party next year. We're gonna
live.
You're gonna watch us watch.
Fine, then we have to watch every Meryl Streep movie as well.
That's fine, as long as I don't have to sit through a Taylor Swift concert for 4 hours.
That's fine. Meryl Streep has a lot of fucking movies, so get ready.
But every single movie that Meryl Streep is in is a bop. It's a hit.
That's true.
Like literally every Mamma Mia.
True.
Every single one.
She has been nominated for like 22 Oscars.
Do we have to watch every single movie with Martin Short though?
Those are all comedies, so
that's true. I wouldn't mind it.
I mean,
all right. Any other topics? Do we want to end the year with anything else?
I think that's it.
I think so. Well, thanks for joining us this year. It was so fun. I feel like we learned a lot. It was a lot of work and a lot of time. Like we definitely were releasing, you know, probably every month, every other month, but we'll try to be a little better next year. I feel like we have some fun, like ideas.
Yes.
For next year.
I think we're going to try and have them be more frequent, get better at it, like a schedule.
Yeah.
But, you know, life happens.
I know. And I feel like it'd be fun to go, like what we said in the beginning, like to different areas, like laundromats, and kind of like have it a little bit more interview style. So I don't know. Any suggestions? Let us know. But it's been so fun.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
As always, like and subscribe. Catch us wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll see you in 2025.
Happy New Year. See you next time in the laundry room. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment on our YouTube channel at Dirty Laundry City. To also stay up to date with us and get all the behind-the-scenes content, you can follow Isabella and I on Instagram and TikTok, both at Dirty Laundry City. Special thanks to Nick Ciavata, audio production, Antonio Concepcion, editing, and Side Studio for graphic design logo creation.